welcome back, everybody, for another round of one-shots. These are total improv, off the top of the dome, one-shot scenarios. The only thing that I've put in front of them is a picture. I have no plan for today's story, and it will evolve as we go. Let's start with introductions. My name is John, and this is my house. Welcome to my ironing board, which is my table. You can call me the DM. No daddy today. I'm not daddy. Mr. Nichols, give me, what are you playing today?
I am playing a Hill Dwarf level 12.
No, you don't just get to choose your level. I told you 10.
You didn't tell me any level.
All right, you can be 12, I guess. You cheetah. You cheetah.
Okay, it's a Hill Dwarf fighter class. And I am ready to go.
All right, Hill Dwarf. What's your name, Hill Dwarf?
Kelgin.
Kelgin. All right, Kelgin the Hill Dwarf. And Mr. Dustin.
Hi, my name is Dustin. I am playing a halfling rogue by the name of Pip.
Pip
Yeah.
the rogue.
Pip the halfling rogue.
You know, it's funny, but I've played a halfling rogue named Pip before. Like that's one of my characters as well. I like the name Pip. I think it's cute, and he's like, pew! He shoots a little crossbow.
I gotta get you.
Oh boy!
Oh boy!
Today you die, mother trucker. So, in order to bring us in, let me do a little bit of world building off the dome, and we'll see what we got going on, okay?
Love it.
Kelgin and Pip find themselves in a little shanty bungalow on a beautiful Caribbean waterline. You hear the water waves crashing against. You hear the skitter-scatter of big crabs going up and down the beaches as they go across. You hear seagulls and the waves just crashing off the distance way beyond the break. And it's the water where the houses are, and there's multiple houses. Is just nice and calm. Blue, beautiful, see-through water. This is the type of place that you would just imagine just absolute beauty is. There's a vast jungle when you look out the back door or the front door back towards the land. The jungle are 40 feet high, very luscious, very green, very thick, where you can't even see into. But it's all going up to one volcano. And this volcano is black on the top, and it's giving out little puffs of black smoke as if it's half active. And so you guys find yourselves on a little bit of a community where there is docks, and all of the bungalows are connected via these just wooden planks, essentially. And it's an entire community of just beautiful people here, but beautiful piratey people, if that makes sense. These people are very much, you hear the oh ho ho and a bottle of rum sort of pirates. They're ships, but they're all off into the distance. This is where all the what's the little dinghies? Couldn't think of the other. There's another term for the little boats, and
Schooner.
yes, thank you. They bring in their smaller boats and they bring them to shore, and this is more of like a respite area. It doesn't seem very outlaw, but more or less there seems to be people walking around with these pistol-like weapons that have multiple barrels, and these people that are walking around or have one thing in common. They have one shoulder pad, and the shoulder pad has a crest of a lion with its mouth open. These people have one golden shoulder pad, essentially, and it's a strap across their chest. There's roughly 10 to 15 of them as they're walking around, arms a bit crossed, but they're watching everybody. Everyone is partying. This is quite a bit of a illustrious area. There's people, there's nudity, there is drinks and music, and people are playing, and it is quite a lively time. So our two adventurers, Pip and Kelgin, am I saying that right? Kelgin wake up in their little bungalow that they shared together. As you guys wake up, tell me what you guys are feeling at this point.
I'll go. So Kelgin is feeling very refreshed. him and Pip had a very beautiful night the night before,
Oh.
and I'm now making breakfast for.
Are you smoking a cigarette as well?
No, it's a pipe.
I feel like Pip is like the half-nude halfling where like the butt cheeks out and he's like rolls over a bit and is like, well, that was wonderful. I'm just kidding. No, you guys just wake up in the same shack. However you guys want to play that out. My mental image just went downhill.
As soon as you said we're sharing a bungalow on the ocean.
There's not enough bungalows. Why you guys? Romantic. It's not romantic between you guys. I promise you. A hill dwarf and a halfling. They just don't mesh, man. Pip, anything?
So Pip whips up and go, oh boy, why does my mouth taste like shit?
You guys have been enjoying quite a bit of.
I can tell you.
You guys have been drinking. The name of the ship that you two are accompanied with is the just. I didn't have a name prepared, so we're just gonna come up. You saw me stutter like I didn't drop one. Let's call this the Adderall. Adderall, the ship Adderall. And the ship that you guys have been on, this is, you know that you are on a bit of a break. You've been plundering and killing and all the things that go along with that for a while now, but this is a well-known spot for pirates. So you guys have been drinking, having fun of festivities, and you guys wake up and there's a knock at the door, just a little...
Oh. I go to the door. Oh, hello? Who is this?
Pip, are you naked? Or do you have clothes on?
I am decent.
Okay. Pip goes to the door with a loincloth, and this gruff old man with one eye, kind of hunched over a bit, just kind of looks down at you, and he goes, "Did you have enough fun last night?"
Well, what's that supposed to mean?
Well, I saw you dancing on the table like a hooligan. But I tell you what, who really did it was that Kelgan guy. Is he here?
Oh, he is. He's making us breakfast.
Man, he gave us all a new game. I've never heard of throwing the halfling on the wall. That was a pretty good one. I think he called it darts.
That's his favorite game.
Hey, the captain wants to see you here in about 5-10 minutes. Put on something more than a loincloth, though.
Oh, okay. Hey, Kelgan, they want to see us.
Who wants to see us, laddie?
The captain wants to see us.
Hey, put some fucking clothes on, will ya?
Oh, I think I'll go like this. It looks more fun.
Whatever makes the meatloaf.
Give me a minute. I gotta collect myself.
What's that, you big shoots? What's that?
So,
What's the fuss? How many times you pull your horn today?
so Pip goes over to his chest and puts on his rogue gear.
Absolutely. Did you finish your cooking there, Keegan? Kelgan? Kegels?
Yes.
I want to call you Kegels. I don't know. Kegels. Okay, Kelgan. Kelgan the Kegler. The Kegel elf? Is that a thing? Could that? Okay, you guys make it over to where the captain is, and it is a bigger bungalow. This one is round. I'm going to keep the same picture up here just so I don't have to change it. This bungalow is a little bit different, a little bit larger than everybody else's, a little bit more lavish as well. There's no door to it. It's just these huge hanging drapes in the front, and it's hard to get through. Like, they're so heavy, it's tough to, like, push through. And when you come through, you see that there's dancers in here, men, women, there's people partying, there is people playing board games, and when I say board games, I mean like chess games, and they're gambling, and all these people are doing different things. And then there is the captain, and it's a raised platform. Everything in the center, all when your eyes bring in, they all go up to the captain's chair, and it's a nice, illustrious wooden chair. On the armrests, there's two giant mouth open lions. And it's all wood, and it's extremely ornate, and it's bigger than the person that's sitting in it. If you want to give me a perception roll, both of you, to give you kind of the details of the room, you know what I'm saying, baby. Just give me that little bit of perception rolls. That's my perception roll dance.
So 22.
Wow. Keegan,
got high perception.
Kelgers, Kelsavar, Kaluskis.
7.
Kelgan, you are extremely fascinated by this one dancer that is right next to you. The belly dancer has gotten your eye and is locked on with you, and you're having this moment of just this trance as the hips are moving, and you're just like, I'm into this.
Kelgan, you're starting to pinch your tent. Might want to hide that. The captain might get offended.
You were literally eye level with the tent, so I mean.
I can see it. Kelgan it's distracting me right now. This is real bad.
I'm gonna point my hips directly at him.
Oh man.
it's sitting right in your face.
I just wick and I flick it.
Oh.
Don't touch me there, Pep.
Anyways, the captain is this illustrious woman wearing scarlet and red piratey clothes. She has 2 extremely huge shoulder pads that have, you guys both looked at me to see what I was going to say, shoulder pads with giant lions on them, mouth open just like the other, but she has 2. She's wearing a lion headdress where the top of the mouth is on top and the mane goes down her back. She is laying cock-sided out of the chair and with one leg over the side, and she's just kind of being fed grapes by one of the people next to her, and she kind of just like lazily moves her head and looks at you, both of you, and just snaps her fingers twice. The dancers begin to stop immediately, kind of a hush, all the board games and everything stops, and she just motions a finger for both of you to approach.
So I walk up and go, "Hey, Captain, what's going on?"
I see you got my message. You both had quite a time last night, but neither of you seem to have noticed that your brother was killed. It was the man that you told me was your brother, unless you had lied to me, Pip.
Oh no, Jeffrey. He's my brother.
Jeffrey? Well, Jeffrey is dead.
Oh, no, not Jeffrey. What happened?
We found his body underneath the docks this morning. I would have imagined you would have taken this a bit harder, as you really played it up to be, a brother.
Jeffrey, he wasn't the nicest to me. He used to throw me out as a kid and slap me in the face, and he used to play games, and it wasn't very nice to me. So, I'm sad, but he was a dick, so we had it coming.
I'm just not truly believing what you're saying. You could make a deception roll for me, please.
Oh, buddy.
DC with that is going to be like 18. That was pretty tough. You're like, oh yeah, Jeffrey, yeah.
Is Jeffrey a brother to both of us? So we're all 3 of us are brothers.
21.
Yes, you are all brothers.
Okay.
I rolled a 21.
You just haven't spoken yet. She looks at you kind of cockeyed, but she's a little bit like distracted by the person that's been feeding her grapes. She keeps looking back at this man who doesn't have a shirt on, has a little loincloth, and has been painted nothing but gold. And she just kind of like keeps looking, not full attention to you. And she looks back at you and then says, "Well, if that's all, you should probably make your way into the jungle, as you promised me. You would find me the head of the one named Czar."
Oh, yeah, getting right on that. Czar. Where was he at again? I got a little drunk last night. I forgot.
You really...
Jungle, Pep.
You should probably start writing some of these orders down, as I do not like answering these questions twice.
Oh, okay, Captain. I'll figure it out.
Head south along the shoreline, and I'm sure you'll come across his little shack. If you see him, kill him on spot. We caught him cheating in a card game a couple nights back, and he hasn't come back.
I don't like cheaters.
And
I'll kill him real quick. Stabby, stabby.
And I don't like liars. Pip, Pip, get to it.
Yes, ma'am. Hey, before I leave, my brother Jeffrey, his contents.
Well, his body was quite bloated, but you'll find him out by the fishing nets, about 30 feet south.
You just threw him into the nets?
What else are we going to do with him?
Bury him at sea?
It's not my brother. You can do with his body as you please.
Oh, okay. Okay, well, come on, Keegan, let's go.
And with 2 snaps of her fingers, everyone's like, okay, back to their games. The dancers are shaking again. Music starts playing. Do you guys leave? Do you guys stay?
So I look around to see if I can see anybody with one of those cool boom boom stick pistols.
Yeah, so the 2 guards at the doors, there's 2 of them on your way out on either side of the door. They have it brandished right on their hilt. It looks like it's, instead of like a holster, it's just a little strap of leather with like a button keeping it there, so it's easy just to pop off and use.
So I whisper to Keegan, "Hey, Keegan, I kind of want to steal this gun. Why don't you make a distraction so I can steal this gun?"
You know, now that I think about it, I'd recommend that you not do that.
Come on, man. I really want a gun. I can't afford it. It'd be sweet if I had a gun.
It seems that we already have a mission here, Pip. To get this bastard, Czar. He sounds like a real prick, doesn't he?
Oh, he does, but I'd really like to have one of these pistols. It'd be real sweet.
I've already said no, Pip.
God.
Get off.
Dang it! No! So Pip just frustratedly walks out the front door.
All right, I'm gonna roll a d20 for perception for the guards here. With a 7, they are both entranced by this one dancer that got you entranced, Kelgan, and they don't notice you guys fighting openly and loudly about stealing their pistols. And you guys make it out. So there's a couple of things here. I'm gonna move this over. Give me 2 seconds here because I'm really slow at this.
Whoop.
And this one is the map to show you all the bungalows. Can you guys see this a bit here?
Yeah, that's a busy map.
So at the very top, right here, can you see where my mouse is? Let me see this, where this guy is? Yes. On the top. That's the bungalow that you're in. And the bungalow that you guys came out of is this one.
Oh, gotcha.
Okay?
That's a long walk for people with such short legs.
Yeah, I mean, it took you like a good, 3-4 minutes to make it there. And there's people all about. Like I said, there's parties and people drunk, people are falling in. This is daytime, and people are acting like this is spring break. It is crazy. Everyone's going just balls to the wall. What would you guys like to do?
So the guy we need to go find, he is not in here. He is to the south.
Yeah. So she said he's in basically a little bungalow on the actual shoreline. So if you guys keep going south, you'll find his.
Pip wants to look around and see if he sees any guards that are drunk and see if they have pistols.
Okay. Make a perception roll and then also make an investigation roll. The DC on the perception roll is going to be, let's just make it like a 12. And
so
then, okay, so you succeed that. You do see quite a few guards as you're walking down this main path down the center. And I think I can draw on this, right? Let me freehand.
My investigation is an 18.
Ooh, okay. So you see one guard who is half fallen in the water. Right here, I don't know if this will work. Oh, it's like brown in color. That's not a good color. Let's go bright red. He's he's like one. It's still brown. Give me red. Yeah, you see that right there?
Yeah.
So he's just right off the beaten path, and he's like half in the water, half out, but he's drunk, and there's a pistol just sitting there. But you also have a guard coming down the walkway right here. And he is walking towards his friend who has obviously taken a stumble. You guys currently are right here where this X is. You were closer to them, but you have a guard that is walking towards, who has eyes locked on his friend, who is moving quick, and you see this.
Okay, so he clearly wants this pistol, so I'm going to get in front here and try to make my way towards that guard that's walking and cause a distraction.
Okay. Without a problem, you're able to get right here in front of him.
Okay.
You're right in front of him. Tell me what you're doing as a distraction and see if we can.
Here's what I want to do. My intention is to bump into him.
Okay.
And try to get a conversation going with him, so that way he can make out with this pistol.
Okay. Do you like walk up drunk? Are you trying to appear very drunk? Are you just like, oopsie, I fell?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'll go drunk. That's
okay.
fine.
You come around the corner. You see it. You also see that Pip, his mouth is like watering as he's like pistol, 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 pistol. And you see that this guard's coming, and Pip's like going straight for the pistol. So without even missing a beat, like older brothers do, you just go straight immediate into like stumbling all over, and the guard's not really looking at you, but then all of a sudden you stumble into him, and you just on command just vomit on the front of his jacket, just and I'll let you RP from there.
Can I use Supreme Sneak as I'm walking by?
We'll get to you after his RP.
All right. Do your RP.
Okay, so I'll kind of walk into him, and then I'll vomit, and I'll go something along the lines of, "Oh, sorry there, laddie. I must have had way too much ale last night."
Oh, shite. It's all over me, you piece of garbage. Jesus. Who's gonna clean this?
I might go back to the captain and see if there's any winches there that might clean you up there, soldier.
But I'm talking about gold, man. This is gonna take a lot for dry cleaning alone.
That's weird that you have dry cleaning on an island like this. It must be pretty fancy.
Well, we actually pay for a lot of great expenditures around here. We've got dry cleaning. We got fresh fruit delivered every morning. We also have a hand masseuse that comes on Tuesdays. It's pretty fantastic. So in this amount of time that you guys are going back, he's super excited to tell you about the cool things he has on his island. You are able to go up and snatch the pistol, but you're going to have to give me a sleight of hand check, and I'm going to roll against you. So sleight of hand's probably pretty good for you, considering you are
28.
28. Get out of here. He rolls a 10. So even with that a roll, he is just in this like, oh, let me bring out a brochure here and let you come on Thursdays. It's half off margaritas and Bungalow 3, man. Like, I know the voice just went to like a bro, but he's super excited. So yeah, you're able to snatch this pistol.
Yeah. Sweet.
With that investigate.
I'll just do this.
Just so I don't screw you out of this, I had you roll an investigation already. What was that investigation? Was that the 18 that you rolled?
It was the 18.
Okay, great. You find enough pellets. You find some bullets. You find like a match, something to ignite. You've never seen one of these fired, but you kind of grab all that's in this pouch, and that pouch gives you quite a few things. It gives you some gold, but it's mainly things for the pistol itself. It's going to give you 6 shots, and then it has 3 barrels and 1 trigger. The mechanism has to be loaded with a flint-like flash on the side where you cock back, and then when you fire, it shoots 3 at the same time. So you can shoot it twice, essentially, with the bullets that you have.
Sweet. Yay! 6 shots, 1 barrel, 3 barrels.
2 shots.
2 shots. Sorry.
Yeah, you're good. So damage-wise, we're just going to play it out like this. Each bullet's going to do 2d6. So you'll roll 66 per time that you use it.
Awesome.
Okay? And when you roll to shoot, you'll roll a d20, and you'll roll your proficiency modifier and your dexterity modifier. So whatever all of that is all together. So that will be your to hit, but damage will be 66, which is badass.
That's pretty nice.
So, with that being said, you guys are just going to make it on down the coastal?
Yep.
I wouldn't mind going to see Jeffrey and see what kind of stuff he's got.
Oh yes, the body. Okay.
My dear
So
brother.
your guys' dead brother is somewhere right there where I marked the X right here, and this X is just where some fishing nets, a couple boats are pulled up on land, and there's a bloated body. As you guys go over to the body. Poor Jeffrey.
Oh no, not Jeffrey! And I'm gonna just start checking his pockets.
He's got a foul stench like maggots to carps.
If he just died last night, how is he so decomposed already?
Is that what it was?
That's what the captain said. Can I roll an investigation to see?
Absolutely.
If he's been dead longer than I.
Yeah, absolutely. So investigation roll for this, with it's seriously going to be like a 10.
Okay.
Unless you have medicine, you might be able to get more if you have a medicine.
I got 24.
Wow. Okay.
I'm really high in sleight of hand and perception.
That's awesome. And that was your investigation checking
That's
him?
my investigation.
That's amazing. So
+7.
wow. You investigate the body and you kind of lift up an arm and you let it go, and it's so bloated when it lands back, the skin just kind of crackles and pops. It's extremely bloated. This is the kind of bloating you would imagine after a body's been in water for longer than a week. And there is some lacerations across its chest in the form of 3 slashes all at once. The middle one is longer than the other 2 on the outsides, and his kneecap is missing. That is what you find.
Oh, he's definitely been dead longer than a day.
Yeah,
somebody fucked him up.
Hey, Pip, I think it might be worth something here to go back to the captain and call her out on her bluff.
I think she might be really pissed that we didn't go find that guy, though.
We'll convince her that we'll go get Czar. He sounds like a prick anyways.
She barely believed me that he was my brother, which he's not, so we had to lie.
Oh, that's your fault there.
Well, now you lie to her the next time. Why always put it on me for, man?
That's fine. I'll lie to her. I'll lie right to her fucking face.
Are you guys going to go back to her?
Yeah, well, let's go back to her. First, before we go back to her, I'm gonna check him for stuff.
Okay, yeah. When you're investigated, there's he barely has clothing on, like a vest and some shorts. Yeah, he does not have anything on his body. That is good for you.
Yeah.
Let me clear the drawings here real quick. Okay, there we go. So, you guys make it back down all the way to the main bungalow at the top, and you make your way back through the drapes. I'd say a good hour has passed. You spent a lot of time. You just left the body of poor old Jeffrey back on the shore. You didn't bury him or anything.
We'll take care of it.
You didn't even push him back out to the water. He's just decomposing with seagulls.
We need to give him a barrel. Let's see after we're done here.
And so when you guys come back in, there is a lot less people in this house. There's no chess players. There's no board game people. There is one dancer, the gold dude feeding her grapes, and she hasn't really moved. And then the 2 guards as you pass in. She's going to kind of lazily lean her head back over to you and go, "Why are you back in my house? Didn't I send you somewhere?"
We'll take care of that in a moment, Lassie, but I think we have a discussion that needs to be made.
She just starts giggling.
What's so funny?
He's so small.
We're trying to be serious here. Straighten up in that chair.
One of the guards kind of leans down into your ear and goes, "Oh, she is high as a kite. She took some opium after you guys left. She's been laughing ever since. That's why there's no one left in here, because she just keeps laughing."
Oh, hey, Captain. We went and looked at Jeffrey's body, and he's been dead a lot longer than a day. We think he's somebody murdered him.
She just kind of giggling, and she goes, "Murder? Who would do murder? This whole town is murder. I'm surprised he lasted that long."
That's not a very nice thing to say to a brother, now is it?
Well, I can't tell you how hungry I am. I need more grapes. And just motions for the gold boy to go get more grapes, not taking you guys seriously at all.
Captain, I'm really upset about this. I want retribution.
And then all of a sudden she goes from this like super high state and she just kind of stands up and like composes herself a bit and looks at you and straightens herself and says, compensation.
No, retribution.
And just starts laughing again. And so you're asking these questions, and obviously if you've ever asked someone very, very high, very meaningful questions, they find it funny regardless. And that is what you're receiving as responses. The guard that leaned down to you the first time, he's going to whisper in your ear while she's just nonchalantly walking around the room and go, I think Jeffrey was part of something that he shouldn't have been. We heard him talking about it the other night in the bar. He definitely didn't die last night. I don't know who told her that. If you're gonna try to find out some answers, I'd go down to the inn. Maybe somebody down there, one of the drunks. The Black Boar. There's gonna be plenty of people in there to talk to.
Can I roll a perception check to see if he's telling me the truth?
Yeah, it'd be an insight. Roll me an insight if you want to know.
Sorry.
Yeah. No, you're good. Kelgan, are you good?
Yeah. At this point, I'm good.
Okay.
I'm looking. Oh, yeah, that's not super high, but that's fine. A 19.
A 19. Yeah. You actually see a little bit of sincereness in his eyes as he is talking to you, as if maybe Jeffrey meant something to him, or he has a strange sincerity about him.
So I turned to Kilgren. No, what are we gonna do? We're gonna get the guy that killed Jeffrey, or are we gonna go kill this other guy for the captain?
I think we need to go to the inn.
Okay, let's go to the inn.
Okay, you guys head over to the Black Boar, and I will draw you where the Black Boar is. It's this one right here. Oh man, it's the poop color again. Dang it. It's this one right here. So you guys make it into the Black Boar, and above the Black Boar there's a hanging metal sign, and it's just the really crudely drawn pig with like this swirly tail, but like we're talking like an outline of a pig. Really, like a fourth grader drew this. And you guys go in here, and if you thought the outside was very ruckus and crazy, this place, people are throwing chairs across the room. It's like a brawl that's happening right now. You guys can join in if you want, or you can make it over to the bartender.
What do you want to do, Kilgan? Should we join in or go talk to the barkeep?
Let's leave the fights to those idiots. We need to talk to the bartender and get to the bottom of this.
The bartender is the guy who actually woke you guys up and said the captain needs you. It's the same type of guy. He's got a little apron on. He's got a hunched back. He's got the one eye. And he goes, "What brings you guys back here?"
Well, hey, Willie, how's it going?
That's not my name, but I do enjoy that one. It's a good bit. Well, I tell you what, beer's on the house. Just don't get hit by a beer. That's how I lost my eye.
I'll try not to. Hey, do you remember my brother Jeffrey?
Yeah, he was here last night. He's the one who started this brawl.
Wait, he was here last night?
Yeah, he was here last night. Yeah, it sure looked like him. Jeffrey, blonde hair. He describes everything that is Jeffrey, all the features. And he was right here. He was playing cards with a few of the guys over in that table. Those guys are not there anymore, but he played and it looked like he lost. And when you cheat at a game of cards, you probably don't live very long. So I wasn't surprised to hear he showed up dead.
Can I roll an insight check on?
Absolutely.
A 20.
He is absolutely holding something back. There's a hint of, you feel that he is not giving you all the information.
Hey, Willie, I like you and all, buddy, but I found my brother dead this morning on the shore, and he's been dead a lot longer than 12 hours. So I need you to help me out here, man.
Well, that's crazy talk. Unless something losersies was happening. Well, I mean, he was here. So if you're telling me that body decomposing out there is a lot longer than last night, then that makes me think the guy that was here last night wasn't actually your brother.
Did you see after he left the card game? Did you see what happened? Where
You
did
know,
he go?
you know what? There's a bit. I bet you could jog my memory with about 5 gold.
Oh man, can I try to haggle with him?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll give you 1 gold piece for information, and I'll give you a crisp high five.
I do like my high fives.
He sticks up this hand nub thing that only has like one appendage, and he's like,
Oh,
"There,
oh,
you're not so happy to high five him now." And his like hand just kind of.
I look at my hand and I just wipe it. I wipe it on
It's
Kilgan.
very, it's very wet. You give him a gold. He goes,
Well, I don't remember your brother ever having a black tattoo on his right hand in the shape of a sigil.
What did the sigil look like?
Well, I mean, I didn't get that good of a look, but when he came up here and he got some money, it looked like it had some kind of, like a raven inside of a circle thing with some numbers and some symbols and, sigil.
Oh, okay. Well, Willie, you've been extremely helpful.
Yeah, I tell you what, for 2 gold, I'll let you ask my D.
Oh, no, I think I'm good.
Piss off, you old bastard. I think we've got what we need here,
How,
Pip.
how about the nub? 3 gold. Put it in your mouth.
No.
I'll see
I
you.
just brandish the pistol just slowly, like, I don't have to use this, but I will.
No, I'm sorry.
he puts he just goes back to like, so he's using his nub with a rag around the nub to go inside the glass and clean the glasses. Squeak, squeak, squeak.
I look at the very hand of this and I was like, I don't think I'm going to drink that anymore.
And then he spits inside the mug and then does it again with his.
Now piss off, you little ants.
All right, can we look around the bar to see if we see anybody with that kind of a tattoo?
Yeah, give me a perception roll. Absolutely.
Perception roll. Are you going to help me on this there, Nicholas?
Yeah, I got a 12.
12 and
I
11.
got an 11.
So
Not great.
tell me how you guys are perceiving. What are you doing to look around? That might help me.
I'm going to crawl up on Keegan's shoulders and look around.
You might as well just start calling me Keegan because
Sorry, Kelgan.
he just can't do it
I
tonight.
can't do it.
He's done
It's
it so
Kelgan,
many-
right?
He's done
It's Kelgan?
Keegan so many times.
Keegan. Kelgan. It's Kelgan, right?
It's Kelgan.
I'll
pretty
get it right.
clearly, yeah.
It's Kelgan for sure.
Sorry, Kelgan. I'm going to crawl up on your shoulders, okay, buddy? Up. Wait,
So
help me.
with you, up, like a little child, like up. With your
You're a
guys'
heavy little guy, aren't you?
he's been
But I ate all that cow last night. It was rough.
You ate what?
A cow, remember? We roasted that cow on the beach. That was a cow, right?
Oh, is that what that was?
I think
it was
so.
a sea cow.
It's a sea cow.
The mermaid of the sea.
So with a 23 combined, you guys do not see any gentlemen or women or anyone or thing in here with a tattoo on their hand with that type of sigil in the bar right now. It's what with that you've looked at everyone's hand with that type of perception.
Well, Kelgan, I don't know what we're doing here, bud, but I don't think that he's here no more.
Yeah, we must not keep the captain waiting too long. I think we need to go and take care of this Czar guy.
Okie dokie. I'm following you, buddy.
So you guys leave the Black Boar Inn and you start making. You come out and do you take a left or right when you come out of the Black
If
Boar?
I'm looking at the map, I would say we need to take a left, right? Because we need to get back on land.
Sure. You take a left and you take a right to go down the main strip.
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
so you take a right and you're walking along, and then all of a sudden there's kind of like a group of like 3 guys who are like shoulder to shoulder a bit, and they're singing this old piratey song, and you guys immediately know the tune and it's in your head, and they're singing along, and they're just kind of like shoulder to shoulder, and they're kind of taking up the whole walkway, and they've got beers in their other hand, and they're singing and swaying together, but they're kind of coming together. And as they get a bit closer, perception rolls. Pew, 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 pew.
Dang it, 13. What is up with that?
Pew, pew, pew. 8.
Man, why are the such real so bad?
So with you guys walking up, Who's up front? Or are you guys walking next to each other?
We're walking next to each other.
Sure, give me dexterity saving throws, both of you.
Oh boy.
Sick.
So you guys are walking and they're walking, but you know how that, like, when you walk towards somebody and they can't decide which way to go? These guys are not giving you any of those bodily movements. Instead, they're going to just, like, pile over you. And so you guys are kind of, like, getting out of the way of these people who just don't give an F.
So
Your
I rolled.
dex is 9?
My dex is not. I'm a rogue, bro. I'm like super stealthy and dexy.
That's crazy.
So I rolled a 25.
I'm going to check that cheat later. I think you
That's
cheat.
fine.
I think you
No,
cheat.
I'm a rogue,
Anyways,
baby.
with a 12, Kelgan. I even wrote your name down wrong on my board, on my thing. Kelgan with a G-I-N. I'm an idiot. Kelgan with the G-A-N makes way more sense. So this group of people moving. Pip, you're so small, you're able to just kind of go between their legs as they're walking. You're just like, whoop. Kelgan, you have a little bit more difficulty, and you end up running into the far right too. Like, you're trying to squeeze between them, but instead, when you squeeze between them, one of the guys lets go, and he falls into the water next to you because of you. And then the other two drunk guys get real angry, and they turn to you and are like, "Man, what's going on? We're just trying to have a song, man. What's?" And they're shaking their beer. And give me a perception roll, Keegan specifically. Kelgan. Yeah, you got me doing it.
Doing it now too.
I'm so sorry, Kelgan. I'm so sorry.
Oh my god.
With a
Why
7,
Roll-
with a 7 perception, you see that he has a hand. But there is looks like there's dark smudge something on the hand. The guy that's right in front of you that's very angry and like talking to you, but it's a real slurred speech. And the right guy, Pip, I'll let you finish your statement.
Can I roll perception on it?
Sure, if you're like, "Hey, what's going on?" and you're like peering
What's
up.
that on it? Oh, that was not much better. 11.
Yeah, you don't see it either. You see that the guy that's right in front of him has like some ash on his hand, definitely some like dark colors.
Hey,
And
Kelgan, look at his hand.
the second guy just comes by and goes to punch Kelgan in the face. Now, Kelgan, you're on the edge of the plank, so water, plank, you. This guy's coming towards you. Tell me what you want to do. You want to try to step? Yeah. Tell me what you want to do.
I want to very smoothly kind of slide my small self to the side to where if he swings at me, he's going to swing with such force that he'll fall into the water as well.
Dexterity saving throw. I'm gonna make it a 12. That's a pretty cool move to just be like, I'm ready, and then whoop, do a dip.
That's right, baby.
22. So you were without a doubt. You do this like little electric slide. You're just like, and just scoot, and he just, "Hey man," and just topples over right on top of his friend who's in the water below. Splash. Now the guy that is directly in front of you, he rears back with his hand as well, and he's going to punch, but without like force to move. Like he's readied himself, and he's coming in for a punch, and you hear off to the side a guard go, "Hey, what's going on down there?"
So he's like mid swing.
Mid swing.
All right, so I'm gonna slide the other way.
Okay.
And
He's like stanced, so he's doing like he's like boxing you at this point. He's not like wildly swinging.
Okay.
He's got an Irish stance where he's like,
An Irish stance.
very, very familiar to
very familiar.
me.
I'll let you do something.
I guess I'll put my dukes up to try to block the blow.
Okay, yeah. So he's going to roll with an attack of, let's see, a +4, just with a 17. What's your AC?
13.
What? Your AC is 13? There's no way. You have not equipped the armor. There's no way. So in D&D Beyond, you have to go in the equipment and click the box so that it adds the armor to. But it's still probably. What class are you again?
I'm a fighter, and I have chainmail.
Oh, well, then you probably are. Yeah. So for this one, we'll say that it blocks. So he goes to punch, and you're able to catch his hand, and you can give an unarmed strike back to him, or you can do something else. It's up to you.
So if I've grabbed his arm, I just want to pull him straight down so he doesn't fall into the water, but I pull him down to where he's prone right in front of me.
Sure. So with that, I'm going to need a strength check from you, and it's going to be an opposed strength check. And he only has a +2 strength, so he's going to roll. You just need to beat a 14, and you can basically pull him prone. So you don't pull him prone, but instead you just kind of like hug him. You're just like, "Ugh," and you're in this tussle. Instead, you're just like grappling him. So Pip, without doing like initiative back and forth, what the situation is, Pip, you've got him now hugging this man. You have 2 men in the water who are splashing around drunkenly. You also have a guard about 15 feet walking towards you guys.
Okay. I'm just gonna clap my hands in the air and go, guard, they're attacking us! They're attacking us!
Yeah, the guard's gonna walk right up to you guys, and while Kelgan's doing this like weird, like slow-mo sensual hug, like it turns.
Oh, is that
like,
what it is?
Oh, sorry. No, you guys are grappling. He's gonna come over to you guys and be like, "Break it up," and then pull you guys apart. Do you allow him to do this? What do you do?
Yeah, I'll allow him to break it up.
Yeah, he's going to take the drunk by the neck, like the scruff of his neck, and give me perception rolls. And he's going to say, "I'm going to take you straight to the drunk tank." And there's actually a tank in the water for the drunk. And it's just a little bit over the edge. Holy
27.
moly, Pip. How did you roll a 3?
My perception is 10.
So with a 27, you see that on his right hand he's got some ash, but on his left hand you clearly see the raven and everything else on his left hand. And
That's
so
the guy that killed Jeffrey.
And so he's got him by the scruff of his neck, and he's dragging him along, and he's real like defeated, like, well, like okay, I'll go with you. And so now the guard is escorting this man away.
So I yell at the guard, I think that guy murdered my brother, guard.
And he's gonna turn around and be like, you mean this guy? This hooligan who's obviously too drunk to even hold himself, and he begins to piss himself. Oh no,
He looks awfully suspicious to me.
It's on the planks. He's gonna go, well, this guy's going to the drunk tank, so he's not gonna hurt anybody ever again. Well, at least tonight. We'll let him out tomorrow. And unless there's something else you guys want to do.
No, I'll let him carry it away.
Okay, I'm gonna circle the drunk tank, which is just an area that's right here. So he's going to make his way, turn left, and then back to the drunk tank. It's basically a jail cell, and there's multiple people already in there, and he throws the guy in there.
I whisper to Kelgan, hey, Kelgan, tonight we come back, we murder that guy. What do you say?
I think we should talk to him first, Pip. Don't get so fucking carried away.
No, stabby, Kelgan, stabby.
Settle down, you little prick.
Pip is so excited to kill.
Stabby. I ain't stabbed nobody in 3 weeks, Kelgan. You're killing me over here, man.
So you guys have the floor. What do you guys want to do? You want to go talk to the guy that's in there? You want to go down to the south to Czar? It's up to you.
Kelgan, what do you think, bud? Go do the captain's work or stabby?
Pip, I think you might be able to get that stabby on this Czar guy. What do you think, eh?
Oh, yeah, let's go stabby that guy. And so we're going to start walking, and as we walk, I click my heels together. Because I'm so excited to get to stabby.
Like
Okay.
a jig.
Yeah, like a jig.
Okay, you guys make your way. I'm just going to fast forward a bit. You guys make your way down the shoreline, and you come across a sweet little bungalow that just so happens looks like the bungalow that you guys came out of. Oh my goodness, who would have guessed? In this bungalow, there is witch doctor things all over the place. And when you get closer to the trees and the types of trees that are here, they've got hanging skulls, wind catchers, all sorts of like weird things hanging, like antiques on string hanging. It's making all sorts of weird noises and clinging and clangings as you walk up. You get this very eerie feeling coming off of this area. And it's a dark pathway going to the front door. This is a dilapidated bungalow. Like it's half, like the stilts that are on, there's missing a stilt, so it's like hanging in the water. Some of it's a little underwater. As you get closer, there's high weeds. You hear like alligators kind of into the water a bit away from you. There's the sound of wonderful bullfrogs just off in the distance. It's got this like eerie fog onto the ground. You're like, what? We were just in a tropical place. What's going on? That's kind of what's happening. So you have this small bungalow that you guys are coming up to.
Pip, this place looks like a real shithole.
Yeah, it looks like a place a guy that the captain would want to kill lives, right?
Right.
I vote we kind of peek in the little doors and the windows to see if he's in there.
Give me a perception roll to see if there's even windows or doors. The door itself, there's something that I want to tell you, but you've got to give me a perception roll.
Oh, shit.
The first time you rolled poopy. Wait, you rolled the wrong thing. You rolled a no, that's
I
right.
rolled a 7. My perception.
That is not high enough to get the detail, but a 24 is second. Why are you rolling twice, you little cheater?
My perception's a +10, not a +7.
No, I still would have taken the 6. I see you cheating. Even with the 16, Kelgan, would you roll? Is the 17 yours?
Yeah.
Okay. So 18 is all of the information. 17 and 16, you notice that there's one window off to the right of the door, and the door itself has like, it looks like a, when you burn something with a high torch and it burns away, it's got like, think of like 2 fingers worth of a hole, like a scratch across, but it looks like it got burnt in. You can clearly see inside. If you could tell if you walked up to the door, you could see through the door.
Am I tall enough to peek my little head?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So I'm going to go peek my little head over the window to see if...
are you doing this stealthily, or are you...
I would like to use a Supreme Sneak. You have an advantage on stealth check if you move no more than half your speed at the same turn.
So I'm going to... Okay, this is the door, and this is you going up to it. Is that what you're wanting to do?
Yes.
Okay. Before you get to the door, I need you to give me a dexterity saving throw. As the creaks and the planks, as you're trying to sneak, give away. With a 20.
24.
What's the what? No, 28, right?
Yeah. Sorry.
With the 28, you're able, right as you step and you're trying to be sneaky, go ahead and give me a stealth roll. You don't make it go as you felt. You're so small that you kind of felt it even with the smallest amount of pressure just giving away. You kind of bounce across and you're able to get and you across the shoddy planks up to the door.
Is 18 high enough? Because I have advantage if I need to roll again.
No, 18 is high enough. So you're able to do it quietly, essentially. Yeah. So it's not so much of a trap. It's just super dilapidated. So if you're trying to go up there quietly, that's what would matter. So you make it up to the door, and you peek in, and you put one eye up to the slat, and you look in. Give me a perception roll. 18. You see an old man sitting in a chair, rocking back and forth. And there's a fireplace, and it looks very warm and very inviting inside. The inside has pictures, oil paintings depicting different sceneries all over, but it's kind of in a crazy fashion. When people put like a big, it's a collage of frames all with pictures, and it's covering the walls inside. And that's what the walls are, except for this little chimney that you saw the smoke coming out of the top, and a fireplace, and an old man just kind of just back and forth.
So I sneak back to Kelgan, and I go, "Hey, she sent us here to kill Grandpa."
Oops.
What does that mean?
This dude's older than dirt. I kind of feel bad just to stabby this guy. He's just like that old man living out his days. I mean, I'm a ruthless bastard, but man, this is low for me.
Well, you got to get your game face on, Pip. This guy could be quite dangerous. Do you see all the items that are outside of this shithole? You need to be careful.
I don't think he has teeth. How much dangerous can he be without teeth?
How did you know? Did you get a good look at the guy, or?
Yeah, he's old as F, unless he's like doing some kind of a magical stuff. I don't know.
Maybe we might be able to investigate that, Pip.
Oh, well, that means I have to sneak back onto the window again.
Oh, you're a short little shit. You can do it.
Oh, okay. Oh, I'm gonna sneak back over to the window again. Then.
Okay. This time as you're sneaking, again, you're gonna have to. You already know you're gonna have to give me a stealth roll if you're trying to sneak.
Yep.
So give me that first.
20,
All right, you're done it
27.
quietly enough. Give me a dexterity saving throw in order to get
My dex is
across.
also 9. That's convenient. 17.
Ooh, you barely made it. It was 16 for that, so you barely made it. It was 18 before, but I lowered it by 2 because you already know where to stand. But still,
Thank you.
it's tough to get across. So you got across, and now you're up and you're looking back
Stick
through.
my head in the door. I'm gonna try to give the others much information just looking around. Like, what else do I see?
What are you looking for? Let me
So
ask.
I want to see if the old man, like, I don't have a detect magic. I don't think I can't detect if he's like a magical.
Probably not as your
Not
class.
as a rogue. So I'm just gonna look at if can I study him a bit more to see if I can gather any more information about him.
Sure. How long are you going to just creep an eye through the little hole and watch him? Some voyeur stuff going on right now.
Barely a minute. How about
Okay,
that?
for a minute, he
Yeah.
doesn't stop his pattern of creaking back and forth. It seems eerie to you that the motion is no motion from him, but the chair just.
I turn around and kind of whisper back to Kilgan. I think he's already dead.
Well, let's go knock on his door and see if he's awake.
Oh, okay. So I'm gonna knock on his door.
Okay. You just.
Just.
Yeah. The creaking doesn't stop, but instead you hear an old kind of grandma-y voice come out of. It seems like the voice comes from all around you, like the house itself. And you hear that. Yes.
I'm selling Girl Scout cookies. Would you like to buy some?
No cookies.
Oh, have you heard about our Lord and Savior Baphomet?
So as you guys are talking, what's happening is when you hear the voice, the house is like shifting each time it talks, as if it's you feel it coming from everywhere.
Please leave.
I really need to speak to you, sir.
Just open my door.
Okay. So I begin to open the door. Can I check for traps or anything?
Are you gonna check for traps before you open
I'm
the
gonna
door?
check for traps before I open the door. Yes,
Sure.
Sir.
Do a investigation roll.
Investigation. 12.
12.
Yeah, that's not good.
When you open the door, because I mean, unless you're because from the outside you can't really check for it. But you're like when you pop the door open, you're looking for like a wire, you're looking for some kind of like trip wire or something, and you don't see anything, so you're just like. And the chair's still there, just rocking back and forth with this.
Hey, Kilgan, where you at, brother?
I'm right here. Excuse me, old timer. We need to have a word with you.
So you guys are walking up to
We're just gonna walk up to the old man.
Okay. Are you touching the old man? Are you talking to him? Tell me exactly what you're doing.
Pip's gonna stay far enough back where he couldn't reach him.
Yeah,
the old man couldn't reach for him for sure.
Yeah, I'm at the same distance with him, and I have my warhammer out, and I'm just kind of the warhammer's just about the same length as me, being a two-handed weapon, so I'm just gonna kind of lean on it.
Pip's gonna have his hand in his cloak, clutching the pistol that he just got.
Sure. You just hear.
What do you want?
So our captain wants you dead. Could you tell us why?
What captain?
The
What's
captain of the Adderall.
You remember the house like shifts every time it talks. You feel the floorboards kind of move every time words come out.
The Adderall. I know no Adderall.
You could use one.
I could use a breath mint.
Yeah, we get that too. It stinks in here.
Do you have a Werther's?
No, I have a Ricola though.
My mouth, it's so dry.
And as this, you hear the voice say, "It's so dry." Where the fireplace is, it's stone. It's basically a square, and there's a fire with wood on the inside. The top row of the fireplace and the bottom row grow teeth. And the fireplace begins to come out like a mouth. And you hear from the mouth, "I'm so dry." And roll initiative.
Oh, boy.
And roll initiative, mother truckers.
Oh, my initiative is +5.
So we're going to do this.
So with a +5, I only got 8.
So player, I'm going to add turn. Oops, I have too many turns. I need to assign them to you guys, and I haven't yet. I'm sorry.
I get to be the bald guy.
Yes, you get to be the bald guy. Where is it? Edit? I think. No. How do I do it? I don't remember how to do this. Flip, horizontal, group, ungroup, token layer. Was it token layer? And then... All right, we're just going to do this. I'm going to move you guys. Okay, so you're here, and right here is, and I want this to be red, this is the fireplace. Right here, okay? So you guys are right there, and then the old man is right here. So this is old man. So the circle with the X is the old man, who has never stopped creaking back and forth in the chair, and the mouth of this fireplace comes out. I'm just gonna write it down. Go ahead, Pip. What's your initiative?
8, which was
Okay.
not great.
Kel?
15.
Nice. And we are going to roll for the wonderful. Get out of here, turn order. And it's a 15, so that puts them at 16. Sure. So they go first. So this, what you guys are feeling in what's happening right now is when the mouth forms and it comes out, the old man never stops, right? And the whole house seems to shrink down a bit. Like it loses a good foot of height and everything else. It shrinks down, and then this mouth kind of extends out, and it's going to try to snap and grapple you, Kelgan, as it does. And it is going to roll a d20. Does a 14 hit?
Yep.
Did you ever add your...
I don't know how to do it.
Go to your character sheet where you're adding the modifiers, and you know where it has like race and everything else. When you do that, you go over to the equipment page and you scroll down, or even on your character sheet if you have it on D&D Beyond, you go to your equipment and click the little box next to the equipment of your armor, and then that equips it. You should be at like 15 or 16. So for this, during the time while you do that, it's definitely not going to hit. So, and it's going to also, against you, Pip, it's going to use another attack, and it rolls a 4. Wow. So it really misses you. So it's kind of like forming the mouth, so it like reaches out and just kind of in front of you, kind of trying to catch a little bit of Kelgan, but it doesn't, and then really misses you. Kel, it is your turn.
Okay. Okay, so it didn't grab me.
Yeah, so this mouth fireplace didn't grab you.
Okay.
Now,
right.
now let me make sure to state here: the house has shrunk a bit, the door has shrunk, and like the floorboards are a bit moving. You guys are a very unstable area. The only thing that really hasn't moved at all is the old man in the chair just rocking back and forth.
Okay, so I want to get this party started here. I want to go behind the chair.
Okay.
And put my hand on it to try to stop the rocking.
Sure. Yeah, you walk right over to the chair, you put your hand on it, and your hand passes through it.
Oh, it's an illusion.
And the old man just keeps creaking back and forth. And you hear this kind of chuckle throughout the house. I'll let you do an actual action other than that's a free action to walk over there and put your hand through it.
Okay. So I'll say something along the lines of what exactly is going on here? You got a guy that's rocking in a chair, but my hand goes right through it. Can you add something to that?
I think that this is a monster, man. We need to either run or fight. That's the only two options we got, I think.
Pip, be quiet. I'm talking to the house.
Oh, sorry,
So
house.
as the house like talks, it shakes a bit more and like an earthquake bit, and you're kind of you're very unstable where you're standing, and it goes, "You're in my mouth."
Yeah, Pip, it might be a good suggestion there to go ahead and leave.
Oh, okay. Are the doors still open?
So the door has shrunken down to a point that Pip is going to have a hard time getting through,
I
even
can't
if
get there,
if he
fucked.
runs through. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
By your turn, Pip, it will be too small for you to get to.
Oh, shite.
Yeah.
Hey,
It's
Kill, gonna think we got to fight, bud.
How do you propose we fight a house?
I shoot him in his mouth. That'll piss him off.
You should probably use that pistol sparingly.
Oh man, I got it though. It's burning a hole in my pocket.
okay. Kel, what do you want to do for your actual action? You went over, you talked, you did the thing. Do you want to swing? Do you want to do anything?
I want to take that warhammer out, and
Okay.
I want to pop this mouth.
Oh, absolutely. Roll to hit. The AC is only 12, as it is a fireplace.
So my question, though, so I'm proficient with a warhammer, and I do have a proficiency bonus of +4. So does that have anything to do with my modifier? Or...
So you're going to add your proficiency plus your strength, and then that is your to hit when you roll your d20.
Gotcha. Okay. Makes sense. Perfect.
It should
Okay.
be. I mean, I could be wrong, but that's
Yeah,
what it should be.
I mean, that makes the most sense. So
Being proficient in it normally means that you can actually use it. That's what they use as proficient. So I'm proficient in crossbows. That means I can use crossbows.
gotcha. Okay. So it is a 12 to hit.
Yeah, that's his AC. So you rear back with that bad boy and you smack down right on its mouth. In this like stone fireplace that is like molded out to try to grab you, clock it upside its face. Go ahead and roll damage.
6 damage on that. So I get 3 attacks.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna
Do it.
So six,
Do it back.
6 damage,
Okay.
and then roll a d20 to hit again.
Yep. Do it 3 times.
Okay, so
Is that a crit?
Yeah, but I forgot to add my modifier, so that'd be
It's still a crit.
Still a crit.
It's
yeah.
still
So my character actually gets a crit on a 19 or a 20.
nice. So you're rolling a 1d10, so roll 2d10 for damage. Nice crit.
Thank
So
you.
the first one, you pop it on its side of its face, and it kind of a little bit off to the side. You bring the hammer from the other side, clocking it the other direction. Ooh, that is rough. That is a rough crit for sure.
And then I am going to, after that, I'm going to use action surge.
Yeah,
Where I'm going to attack again.
Yeah, do it. Do it up, boy. Pip, you're up next, so be ready with what you got.
Okay.
You could go ahead and tell me what you got while he's rolling.
So I want to shoot him in the mouth with a gun.
24 hits.
To roll, okay.
So with the gun, it's your proficiency plus your dex. That's going to be the plus to the 20. So you roll a d20, your proficiency plus your dex modifier. So at 24 hits, what's your damage on that bad boy? 1d10?
Yeah. 6.
Nice, dude. So you did 15 damage. Nice. Yeah, you clock at 1, 2, you feel the surge. 3, bring it down, just smacking this stone mouth, and you've broken a lot of its teeth, and it kind of like shrinks back. But the thing you notice, if you give me a perception roll of at least 10, give me a perception roll of at least 10. I want to give you this tidbit. I really want to. I really want to. Yes, there you go. Every time you clock it in its mouth, the shrinking of the house, as it was only about a foot above your head, every time you clock it, it retracts back a bit. So it's retracted another 3 feet, and it's almost back to its original size each time that you've hit it. And then as you're done hitting it, it then starts to shrink in a bit more. And as it shrinks in closer and closer to you, the water, you're kind of shrinking down a bit of the water. You see it kind of filling up a bit, and water starts to kind of pour in through the floorboards. You're going to shoot your gun?
Yeah.
Okay, flavor that for me. What are you doing with this bad boy?
I'm gonna whip it out, old Western style, and just pow.
Yeah, okay. Roll to attack.
So roll to
That's-
attack is a 29.
Yeah.
Because Because my dex is 9 and then my proficiency is 4.
Hold on. Your dex can't be 9 because the modifier can only be up to 5.
My dex is 9, bro. Hey, do you want me to share you my screen?
It's don't share your screen because it'll change the thing. But the dex modifier can only go. You're looking at dexterity saving throw, I think. It's the modifier that is for the.
Oh, you're right. It's 5.
Okay, that sounds right. I was like, dex can't be 9. Like that is, I'm pretty lax on the rules. I can't know.
So 22.
Okay, yeah, still with a 22 hits. So roll your 66 damage.
60. That's so crazy.
So you whip this out. Is there any kind of like one-liner you want to say as you whip this bad boy out?
Oh, Pilgrim, you came into the wrong house today. I don't know.
That doesn't make sense at all. You
I came into the wrong house today, Pilgrim.
There you go. That's and you go.
Add anything to the attack?
No, just 66 damage.
66.
Yep.
Holy shit, 19.
Wow. Nice. Nice. And so are you doing this with 2 hands or one hand?
Yeah,
like
one little hand because I'm just a little man. I pull it out at first and I was like, oh, it's too big, and then I hold it in front of me. Naked gun style.
make a dexterity saving throw. As this gun goes off, you've never held or shot a gun before, so you're kind of like, have you ever seen those videos of people on YouTube when they shoot like a massive magnum and they just lose it completely? Just a 22. So you shoot this pistol and it has so much kick out of this tiny little gun. It rears back to hit you in the face and you're able to be like, ah! And it flies behind you from the kick. You just kind of let it go. And it shoots behind you and skids across the ground. It does shoot in its throat and it did a bunch of damage and you hear it kind of like
Is your mouth dry anymore there, buddy?
As the house, I thought there was a demon behind you. There was a body that moved behind you. And I was like, what is that? So yeah, you shoot it in its mouth and it does a ton of damage. And it's like trying to cough up a bit of these little BBs that are in its neck. And then it's back up to its turn, and it is this time going to attack both of you, and also it's going to shrink the house down doubly fast. So I'm going to use this D roll on the same on both of you. It's a +4, so it's a 17. Does a 17 hit either of you?
Yeah.
Okay, so it hits both of you, and it does 3d8 damage. You take both 18. You can, I believe, evasion can half that, right?
Yeah, I want to evade it.
So you take 9, but you take 18 there. Kelgan.
Sorry, I got a ton of hit points.
Yeah, you would do. It's silly. So it bites both of you, and it clomps down a little bit on your feet, on your feeties. But really what it uses its power to do is just try to shrink its stomach, aka the house, down quicker. And it's like it's the ceiling is making your head go off to the side, Kelgan. And oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. I'm not normally this bad. I wrote it down so I keep reading it, but I keep catching myself doing that.
You really screwed the pooch when you started calling me Keegs.
Oh, I'm sorry, man.
I did. And so its Pep is like you could put your hands up and touch the ceiling. Like it's shrinking fast. The water is up to your waist, Pip, as it's used most of its turn to shrink down. Now it's Kel. Kel, it's your turn.
I'm going to hit him.
Okay. It's going to be a bit hard to swing. It's really hard to miss since the swinging is basically hitting it. It's all around you at this point. You can imagine this house is crumpled down. It's basically like a reverse stomach, and it's like coming down inside of you. The AC is only 10 to hit. So 21, you hit. Roll that damage.
Roll that damage.
Damage. Damage. Chia. Oh my goodness, 10 damage. Are you attacking again? You get 2 attacks, right? Yeah.
I get three with an additional 4th if I use that special.
Okay. So this is how we're gonna play this out. You swing your warhammer. Is that what you said? You swing your warhammer back, and you meant to like just prepare, but it's coming down so quick. You just kind of tink, and you hear it kind of as it kind of like retracts a bit, and it goes back as you're like, what? You were right there, and then you bring it down in your second attack because your first attack actually did 10 damage and it only had 11 HP left. And as you bring the hammer down, as your second, you smack the floor as you realize the entirety of everything is a monster, and you hit it, and the house just kind of back to normal. And out of the fireplace, everything's back to normal. Even the old man's back to creaking. And out of the fireplace comes this, it's best described as like a kobold man, humanoid creature thing. And it rolls out of the fake fire and comes out and just, he's bruised and beaten. It's just a bloody body of a kobold creature. It's about only like 3 feet tall. Pip, you'd be about the same size as this creature, and it's just got rags, and it's got like a little bone helmet on. Looks like a voodoo doctor. And
is that the guy?
I reckon it would be.
Well,
it's up to you guys.
Cut his head off? What do we do? Gotta bring something back to the captain.
I think it might be more beneficial here, Pip, to actually talk to him before you do your stabby.
Is he alive?
Let's find out.
So I'm gonna run over and pick the gun back up, if that's okay.
Oh yeah. You pick it back up. It's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna walk over to the kobold, and I'm going to just right by his face just drop my warhammer as it makes the thud. To see if he moves or anything like that.
Yeah, no. As soon as you let that go and the big old thud, it just the creature just like wakes up and gets up and goes. It's just like it's freaking out, like having fists at you guys. Just speaking in this weird voice tone that you've never heard and a speech pattern you've never heard before. He's just doing all these weird things. What do you guys like to do?
Can I identify what it's speaking?
What languages do you speak?
Common and halfling.
No, you do not. You do not know what it's speaking. You can imagine through its hand motions, and it's like it's not happy with you.
Well, Kelgan, what are we gonna do, bud?
I'll take it from here, Pep. Hey, what is your name? He's like a rabid dog pressed a corner.
Yeah, he's real like oh, I'll fight you, just like baring his teeth at you.
So
why don't you just knock him out? Just hit him in the head real quick.
So I've kind of gathered that he's kind of like in distress. So really, all that I'm gonna do is I'm going to put my hand on his forehead and just kind of push him down to try to settle him down.
When you get your hand close, give me a dexterity saving throw. He's gonna try to bite you.
Bastard's gonna bite me. Come on, big money, big money!
Oh man!
Make a Constitution saving throw, please.
Here we go. Alrighty.
You put your hand down to push him. As soon as your hand gets close, he goes. He just kind of like latches on to your hand, and he's not letting go with his teeth. But you feel this little bit of a sting come through your body as your hand begins from where he bit you, and he lets go. Your finger and hand starts to turn black right there, and it's like it looks like a liquid underneath your skin. Like when he bit you, there's teeth marks, but in that finger and where that hand is, there's just this black liquid that's flowing. You don't feel any pain, but you feel you see a black liquid, and it slowly spreads through the hand. It's going to take a long time to spread.
Oh, you're not going to be able to wipe that one off, though, Kelgan.
So
how about I shoot this guy in the face?
Can I make an insight check to see if I recognize it as poison?
Yeah, absolutely. It would be more of a history check than an insight.
Perfect.
History. It's the one history.
All right. Big money, big money.
Roll 2. Soft 20. With a soft 20, you know poisons. You've been bit by everything known to man. You have been through the seas. But with your piratey background, you've heard of a mark that certain cursed creatures can give you. And you've never seen it, but you can surmise that your first thought is, crap, I've been marked.
Dang it, I was hoping it was poison. Because that does not affect me.
Yeah, I know. That wasn't going to make a poison.
Come on, Kelgan, let me finish this guy, man. Let's do this.
Let's try to at least talk to him.
After he bit you, his demeanor has completely changed. He's gone from this rabbit to a like big cute eyeballs just looking up you like,
oh, he looks like a little kitty cat.
What's going on? And he's just kind of like wipes his eyes a little bit and like looks around real confused.
When you bit me, what did you put inside me?
Oh, that's helpful.
And then he starts to take off his pants.
Oh no!
Can you
put those on?
Can you form common words? Hey, Pip, I think what we should do here is pull out your pistol and give it to him real good.
You're gonna... Oh, he's all innocent now. Now you want to kill him?
The little bastard just bit me, and you think he's innocent, Pip? Come on.
He's going to kind of like point at your hand.
I tell you that you're going to become him. He said that's real bad, and that shit's going to go bad for you right now.
He does this like little dance, like.
Hey, Kelgan, he may really got to be able to help you now. If I kill him, then we can't help you.
Do you think you can help me with getting rid of this?
Yeah, let's so I'm gonna pull out let's see, do I have any food?
Might have some rations, maybe some tack.
I'm gonna give him a cracker.
Oh, what do you do? Do you like hand it out to him?
I just like gently, it's like, don't bite me. It's like my pinkies. It's like, don't bite me, and I give him the cracker.
I mean, you're eye to eye with this guy.
Yeah,
like
right.
You're just like, here you go. Yeah, he's.
And then I kind of motion, yes, like, yeah. Eat cracker.
And he just eats it. He just goes to town like hasn't eaten anything in years.
Yeah. And then I try to say, more crackers. You follow us. Point to him. And I give him my hand. Like, you hold my hand, little buddy. No, don't bite me! No, stop!
And he's got like this little cloak on, and he puts the cloak over his head. So he's completely covered. And he goes...
Pep, I think he's a special needs kobold. What do you think?
Can I take out some rope and try to tie the cloak around his neck so he can't take the cloak off his head?
Yeah, absolutely.
Stealthily?
Make just roll. Yes, you can do that, and you do it because he's not surprised. He put the cloak over his head, so you wrap some rope
there, and then I make a little leash for him.
Yeah, he freaks out as soon as you put rope around his thing, and he starts running into the wall, and then he's got the thing on, and he runs over, and he just kind of runs around the room a bit, testing, and then he just kind of sits down, and he's just panting. Really.
Are you quite finished?
Here's what we should do, Kelgan. We need to take this guy, go back to the docks, see if we can find a magic person or something, and see if he can identify what this is, and maybe he can save your life or whatever's going to happen to your ass.
Pip, do you know how to identify a magic person? Because quite frankly, I've been bitten and I'm a little worried here.
Let's go back to the barkeep. He seems extremely helpful and a little creepy, but he might know some magic folk.
The old ugly bastard at the inn.
Yeah, Willie. One-Eye Willie.
No, let's try to find someone better than him, because quite frankly, he freaks me out with his hand.
Well, the captain ain't going to help us. She's a real bitch.
I don't think she's a bitch, Pip. She's just quite inebriated from that opium. maybe she's cooled down, but quite frankly, we need to find something quick here.
Okay, well let's drag the little bastard back to the dock and see what we can do.
Sure, Pip. Whatever you say.
So Pip, you're dragging this kobold with
Yeah.
a thing over its head, and it's just following behind with a cloak over its head, and it's just behind you, and it's tripping, and you like tug on
Right.
it. Yeah, you guys make your way all the way back to the town.
I'm gonna call him Oreo.
What's an Oreo, Pip?
It's something I heard from some hooker one time. I don't know what it means, but I like the name of it.
Pip, what did we? Pip, we talked about this. You can't just be saying things that you don't understand.
Hey, if I hear from a hooker, I take it as truth. Those women have seen some shit.
Oh, that's the gospel, is it?
It is. They've seen a lot of shit, man.
You better be careful or you'll get the clap.
He just
Right
kind of.
now,
You guys said the clap, and he goes.
I
As if he
think
understood
that's what
that.
you got on your hand, Kelgan. It's the clap.
How dare you say that to me? I'll beat you senseless.
So you guys make it back to this pirate town, and you're making it back up the rails. Where do you want to go? Are you making where? Yeah, where do you want to go, period?
Yeah, well, so he didn't like the idea when I Willie, so I guess we go back to the bar and talk to the pirate queen, the captain.
So as you guys are making it down this a bit, you've got this guy on a leash, but he can't see where he's going. So as you're doing this, all of a sudden you feel like a tug as he fell off the plank
middle
into the
water.
water, and you hear, and there's a bunch of
Help me
splashing.
pull him back
But-
aboard.
For fucking sake, Pip, can you get that dumb thing under control?
So here I am trying to pull it, and it's half my body weight.
It's around his neck, so he's like choking to death as you're pulling him up.
You're no help right now, Keegan. I'm trying to save your life.
Give me both of you.
If you quit calling me Keegan, you little bastard, I might be more inclined to help you.
Help me, Keegan.
Give me a strength check for both of you.
Oh,
I hate you both so much.
+1. Oh boy.
Oh boy.
I'm a weak little man. Oh, an 18.
18. Wow. Yeah, with an 18, for some reason you feel this struck of luck, even without Kelgan's help. You just kind of go, "Rah!" And he kind of comes out of the water like a
I'm
rocket.
the one that
and-
rolled the 18.
No, I rolled the 18. I'm Pip.
No, you didn't
I
roll.
I rolled an
didn't
18
roll.
as well.
Oh,
I
off
don't see
screen.
your roll on there. Yeah, I don't see that.
Okay, sorry.
So you're able to pull him up like a fish out of water, and he's freaking out, and then he kind of calms down after he's a bit wet.
Yeah, I'm so petting him. So it's okay, Oreo. So I shorten the leash to where he can't get too far away from me. So like I leave maybe 3 feet between us. And
Okay,
I just drag
yeah.
him along.
No, he's learned his lesson to kind of like not go to the edge.
I just imagine this little thing like hanging over a dock just with his arms up
Just-
like
Yeah, it's just freaking out. So you guys are making it down the way. A few people who are just drunk sitting is watching this are just laughing their ass off as there's hooping and hollering. You make your way down this far, and there's a guy right here, the guy that was the one-eyed Willie. He's actually fishing right here, just with a little fishing rod, and he's just kind of sitting there, and he looks over and he goes,
What the blarm hell is all that? What do you have in the bag?
so I want to go up to him and just like sidekick him into the water.
Hey, what do you got? And yeah, you without even give me not even attack roll. He's fishing. He's not even yeah, you just kick him and hey, so what do you got? And he just straight into the water. He just sploosh.
Kelgan, you are such a dick.
And he just kind of comes back up.
There's no more free drinks in my bar. You're not welcome.
I don't want your spitty bear anyway, you little bastard.
I might have a hard time swimming. You help a guy up. I only got one hand. You son of a bitch. I can only tread water so long.
We gonna help him up or what?
Yeah,
Which hand-
there's no ladders.
Which hand is he extending?
My strong hand. He puts up the claw thing. Here comes my strong hand.
I cut off some of my rope and give it to Kilgan and say,
Yeah,
"Hey, buddy, do it."
That's a good idea, Pep. Shorten the leash.
So you guys, do you guys get him out or not?
Yeah, I'm gonna fasten a little noose to put around his little nub, and we'll pull him up.
And you nub him up. Okay. Yeah, you guys get him back up, and
What was that all for? I didn't. I like a good dip, but
Well, you're a dirty perv, first of all, and
Well,
that's gross.
you're not wrong there. Speaking of being all wet, you guys ever hear about the one time the one-eyed Willie got with this one little short guy on a dock?
and he starts to take off his pants.
Nope, Willie, you're gonna go back in the water again.
We really don't have time for this. Can you please put on your pants?
And he never took them off. I was just kidding.
Okay.
You guys, are you just going straight down to the?
Yeah, I'll
Sure.
I'll tug Oreo with his little 3-foot.
Yeah,
leash.
he just kind of looks at Oreo and just, I don't know what the hell is that? Because he sees the feet, and it's little like these 3-toed, greenish skinned, weird feet. And you make it all the way down. The guards kind of stop you and take a look at Oreo, like,
Hey, what is that?
This is what the captain asked us to bring her back.
That's not Czar.
Yeah, it is.
Czar's an old man.
No, Czar's not real. He was fake. This is Czar.
No, Czar's an old man. He's got long black hair. He's got a scar across his face. He hunts with tigers. This is not Czar. What is this?
Does Czar happen to have a weird-looking hand?
No. He's got a beastly demeanor. Quite frankly, everybody's pretty scared of him. I was kind of surprised she sent you two little pipsqueaks to go kill him. Good luck with that.
I'm telling you, man, this is Czar. You call me a liar?
I'm telling you right now, that's not Czar.
and he's gonna look over at the queen and be like,
Hey, these guys say they have Czar.
and she goes, it like flops her head over. That's not Czar.
I got you something way better. Have you ever seen a cobalt before?
And she just kind of pipes up like, no.
So I quickly untie the knot and take the head off and push him into the bar.
Yeah, so Oreo just kind of, he comes out there and he looks around a bit, and the queen just, how funny, he should be our new pet. And he kind of looks around, looks back at you, and looks over at Kelgan, and then looks at the guards, and looks at the queen, and just goes, like a little stance. He just, and he's like doing this like whole charades thing, and there's a couple guards are like,
A plane, a boat, an elephant.
like, they start playing this game. Even the queen gets in it like, I think he's talking about a snake.
No, it's not a snake. A house eating a snake.
A big house with teeth. And they're just playing this game of charades, and this he's just going to town.
I want to look over at Pip and just kind of give it a big smile because we've already been through all this, and we kind of just like shut the door behind us, kind of let them have their fun as we hopefully start trotting off into the jungle to look for Czar.
Okay. As you guys start to leave, you do hear a bit of and a little skitter scatter feet pat by and out the door towards you.
He's following us.
Mm-hmm.
What do you want, man? You bit Kilgan.
And then he takes his little cloak and he puts it back over his head.
Oh, I guess Oreo's gonna come with us now. He's our new boy.
No,
He's
Pep.
our baby boy.
No, he's only going to be a distraction when we try to fight this Czar guy.
Did you
He
see
needs to
that?
stay.
He turned to a big house and tried to eat us. This dude's badass.
That's disconcerting to me.
Maybe we can get him to eat Czar.
If you could give me both perception rolls, please. To see if you see
What's coming?
27.
Jesus, Mary. Okay.
My perception's really high.
It's insane. Is that a 7?
Yeah, because I don't have a +10 modifier, you jerk.
So, Pip, in this mid-conversation, you hear the clickety-clack of nails behind you coming down the planks. When you turn to look for what this is, you see a man riding on a white tiger, and the tiger is kind of big. And with that type of perception roll, I'll give you it all. It's Czar. And he is on the back of this tiger, and the tiger is about 10 feet tall, and it's a very large tiger, and Czar is sitting on the back with just this black armor, this huge scar across his face. He's a half orc, and he hops down, and when he lands, he's a hulk of a man, and he kind of walks over towards you guys. Hey guys, what's going on?
Hi, Czar. How's it going, brother?
Hey man, yeah. Are you guys new here? I was out there just killing up some stuff.
Yeah, we're on a little bit of a hiatus here from all of our long travels. So I'm assuming you're Czar, yeah?
Oh yeah, that's my name. That's what most of us call me.
I gotta be honest with you here, Czar. I was not expecting that voice from such a large mob.
You got a problem with my voice?
I'm not saying that. Hey, listen.
I got a problem with your voice. How about that? You sound pretty weird to me, man. Only Pip and I sound pretty normal.
That's right.
Where the fuck am I?
So
What is this?
He's gonna look down at Oreo and just kick him and be like, "What is all this thing now? What is this?"
I wouldn't do that.
And he kicks him again.
That's not good.
He just kind of nudges from the kick, and then he resets and gets kicked again. And he resets back to where
So,
this is kind of fun.
I turn around secretly to Oreo, and I'm making a little motion like this, like.
Well, he's got a little cape on his head.
Uncover his head. We're gonna uncover his head and pet it.
So when you uncover his head, he just kind of goes, and then he just jumps onto Czar's face. I mean, a vertical just, and he is just on his face, and he's eating. His mouth unhinges completely, bigger than his body, and he begins to, from his head down to his feet, engulf him, and then he eats all of Czar, all 8.5 feet of him, and then it all just kind of back into his mouth, and then he turns around and goes,
Yeah, you did good, bud. Can you spit his head back out for us so we can claim this reward?
and he just burps.
Oh man, nobody's gonna believe us.
Well, that was easy.
Can I walk over to the white tiger?
Sure.
Is it gonna eat me?
The tiger's just laying there.
Does the tiger have a collar on him?
No collar. He was just riding with the mane in his hands.
I'm gonna call the tiger Daniel. Daniel the tiger.
Do you? What do you? You touch it.
I want to touch the tiger.
Okay, as soon as you touch the tiger, make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh no, I'm gonna lose my hand.
Oh no, I'm a real boy.
Oh no! Well, Czar, the big mean orc, he already got eaten by this creature that doesn't seem
24.
like it. With a 24, instead of hurting you, it backhands you off the dock. It just swipes you. You can make a you can make a saving throw to see if you can grab on, but one of the posts or something without falling in the water. I'm looking for
a 22.
Yeah, you absolutely. He bats you, and you grab on the thing, you spin around and land back onto the dock. And,
okay, well that wasn't a great idea.
And the cat just kind of sprawls out a little bit and lays down.
So I'm gonna go back to the bar and knock on the door. That we just closed.
You're talking about.
We're not outside the bar.
No,
right?
you're at the.
We're at the captain's.
You're right.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, wait, That's our house, though. That's our bungalow.
No. This is your bungalow right here, the circle. That's your bungalow. Up here
where
where
is
I made the X, that's where you guys are at.
Okay, gotcha.
Is that the building the captain's in?
Yeah, this is the captain building. This one right
So I'm gonna knock on the door of the captain's building.
Okay.
And like, hey guards, come here, guys. We want to show you something.
Yeah, the guards kind of come through the veil.
You see that white tiger? You recognize that?
Yeah, that's did Zar show up? What happened?
Yeah, Zar is inside of Oreo now.
What happened to Zar?
Oreo ate him. Like, ate him. He ate him whole. He's like, he did that to Zar, and he's dead now.
Kelgan, I hear your friend talking. It's nonsense. What happened?
Basically, here's the scoop, and I'm going to tell you. This little kobold here completely engulfed Zar, and we to burp out so we could claim this very illustrious reward, but he has not burped it out yet. But that's basically the skinny.
He just scratches his head like, that's his tiger, and he always rides his tiger.
Yeah.
And he's not around. He's gonna ask. There's one drunk who's been standing there just stunned since he got eaten, and he's just completely stunned. And he's gonna look around a bit, and the guard's gonna look down at Oreo, and Oreo's got like a big beer belly right now, and he looks like really like he's got the meat sweats. Like he just looks super uncomfortable, and he's like. He kind of like gets down to Oreo, and Oreo's kind of like looks real sick, and then he picks Oreo up and puts him on his shoulder like a baby and burps him, and you hear and you hear tink 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 tink, and then if you look behind, he barfed up a bracelet. And it's a bracelet that says "I'm definitely Czar." No, it's a bracelet that Czar always wore, and he was like,
pick it up.
"No shit." So he's gonna take the little Oreo off his shoulder, and he's like, he's just roll like crazy, and then he kind of steps back and he says, "I'll take that bracelet if you don't mind. I'll give this to the queen."
Yeah, bring us back our reward.
Yeah, so he goes in through the veil, and about a couple minutes later, like some weird sounds coming from in there, he comes out with a big sack of money and lays it down and says, "Well, what are you gonna do with all your money? We don't leave port for another 2 days."
Oh, I'll find somewhere to undo myself and stash my goods.
I don't know what you mean, but there's a town called Tortuga down the way.
Yeah, man. Tortuga. Great place.
So you guys have effectively killed, taken care of Czar, and you now have a pet named Oreo, who is not a kobold. I don't know if you picked that up or not. But he, you have this, and we are going to close it there because I don't want to start another storyline. So, Kelgan. Every time I have to say it like that, nice and slow, so I don't say Keegan.
Nice and slow.
Kelgan. Final thoughts. What's your character going through?
I mean, he was definitely prepared for a battle. He was really looking forward to using that Warhammer up against him. I'm kind of glad that what transpired the way that it did, because I would imagine that fighting him would have been significantly difficult, or significantly more difficult than I was probably anticipating. Also, having to deal with a tiger as well would have probably not been so fun for either of us. That Oreo just unhinged himself and engulfed an 8-foot orc was certainly surprising, absolutely hilarious. But he is relieved that he has completed his mission with his brother. And I think at that point he just wants to bury Jeffrey and get it over with.
Pip, final thoughts.
Pip was super excited that Oreo decided to join him and be his little pet, and he was super excited when he saw him eating that guy. And Pip was kind of squealing to him something, kind of going, "Yeah, that's awesome, man!" So, and he's looking forward to going to the whorehouse and blowing all that money on the soiled doves.
Yes. And so what we'll do is to close out this one shot, the final scene, as the credits are about to roll, we see Kelgan and Pip and Oreo in it's this beautiful landscape, and you guys are up on a hill, and it's in this it's quite a bit up, and it's on a cliff, and you're overlooking the ocean, and the sun is setting, and in this little grassy area underneath a palm tree, you guys are digging a grave, and what you guys can see as you've carried the body up and wrapped it in bags, and you guys are saying some words over as the sun's coming down, and good old Oreo's just he's just crying for no reason, as Oreo doesn't control his emotions at all, and he doesn't understand what's going on, but it's very sad. And so we're going to close with the idea that you guys are digging a grave and burying Jeffrey and saying last words. To put the brother that you didn't know you had to rest.
Jeffrey, you were a good guy. We didn't know who the fuck you were, but you were all right. We beat you at cards a lot, and that was cool.
If there was one thing that I could say about Jeffrey, although he didn't necessarily seem like a brother, I know that he was not a cheater at cards.
No, he was too bad at him to cheat.
Well, Pip, I've known you to cheat at a couple of card games yourself.
Yeah, but I'm stealthy. You know me, man.
You're not exactly stealthy when it comes to cards that are about the size of yous.
The worst eulogy speech ever known to man.
And we start arguing over our brother's grave.
Jeffrey rolls his own body into the grave and covers himself over while you guys are arguing.
He's like, I'm sick of this.
My brothers are the worst. Anyways, thank you all for hanging out with us for a wacky, zany one shot. I appreciate it. Thank you for my players. Dustin and good old Nick. Thank you guys. We've done this a couple times. Hopefully we can do this more in the future, and just when we get the chance to actually sit down and play some wacky, funny, totally improv sessions. So hopefully you guys had fun, and hopefully you guys had fun watching, and have a great evening. And don't miss our main show, which is Saving Arcana, which this will be posted on our YouTube. So if you see this, you probably see everything else. Our main show is posted up every 2 weeks. We're about to start season 2.
Season 2.
Excited. I'm excited. This was 7 straight months of season 1, and I will hopefully never run that type of format again. But this is all new, and I tell you what, it's been a hell of a great time. So I'm happy to be able to play this, and I'm happy to be able to DM for you guys. So thank you for taking out your evening and playing with me, and we will do it again here soon.
A big shout out to our lovely DM as well. Perfect right off the top of the dome, as always. So yeah, definitely check out Saving Arcana. We love you guys. Season 2.
So excited. Thank you, John.
Hey, thank you guys. Appreciate it. As always, it's as much as your story as it is ours. We love you guys. We are Saving Arcana. Have a good night.